Got a shipload of stuff done and got like a bunch of T-shirts made. And
Can you go in early with tomorrow?
Yeah,
if I drive up early, we're going early. Do some stuff.
Yeah,
Do some image on stuff maybe. Do you have any of that?
I'm gonna do it on my credit card and buy some. You know,
I can buy some too. I just want to know when we.
Well, we'll split
some.
Split some.
Yeah. I didn't do anything with the plates that we ground.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's like Peter's really cool because it's so loose, you know. Because, and also like I was gonna say like don't buy any copper. I've like scammed a bunch.
Yeah.
Like I have more than like I like found last week scammed. I have more than I found last week like scammed.
Incriminating evidence has now been done.
Yeah, I have more than I scammed. Found.
You develop.
All right.
Have you seen these books before? Yes.
Howard saw one like years ago when I was at school. Let me grab Alexander. Have you ever like heard me like telling me stories from my books?
Have I? Say that again. I'm sorry.
Have you ever heard me like give a performance from my books?
No, I haven't.
I'm gonna give them right now. And they're gonna film it, and it's good if I have an audience, and it's good if I tell people that have never seen it. It only takes a couple of minutes. I'm like right around the corner. If you have time.
Let me see.
Okay. I'm sorry to bug you. They're gonna like. They finally got all the stuff hooked up, so I'm gonna tell a story. I'm gonna tell a story from my book. If you have like a minute, a couple of minutes actually.
You're gonna film things you might want to see if you're filming.
No, that's on purpose.
Is it?
See, it's a test to see people's character. Like, who's actually gonna tell me that my fly's undone? Seth, you're a good person.
Well, you know, I've been told that. The problem is, I get told my fly's open all the time.
Okay. Well, you see, you have a wife. I don't have a wife. I'm advertising. You know, I'm advertising.
Well, there is that.
Okay. All right, I'm going to tell a story. And I started on a sherry.
Now you're going to tell us what you meant.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
Did you grow up in this area?
Did I what?
How long have you been around Massachusetts?
15 years.
15 years.
South End.
Syria or this area?
This area. All right. Do you know what this represents? Like a Boston Bruins jersey with a number 4 on it?
Without a flaw. 4.
With a 4. You know. Who is it? Number 4.
Bobby.
Bobby Orr. When we were growing up in the 70s, there used to be a bumper sticker on the cars that this is Orr's country. This Bobby Orr became a Boston Bruin at the age of 17 and like got him to the Stanley Cup. Anyways, as artists, we all know what it's like with the blank page syndrome. You know, suddenly you get a bunch of stuff to make a sculpture with. You get a bunch of film, you get some paper. It's like, what am I going to do with this? You go through periods where you're hot, and you got periods where you're not hot. At one point, I was thinking about what I was going to do. I bought a new book, and I had no ideas. My ex-girlfriend had a show down in New York City. I went down and saw her show. I met Richard Harris. He was at her opening. I got so jealous, so disgusted, I left. Drove all the way back home. I got a phone call. A friend of mine said, I got good news, bad news. I thought it was a plumbing job. What he told me was the gallery had closed. All the work that had in the gallery disappeared. He had had all the work that was in the gallery, and he had been selling it. He's collected at one of the pieces of the work and wanted me to sign it. I went down, I was going to kill him. He was house sitting in a place in Toro. He's a real opportunist. I tried to get into the house, but I couldn't get in. I walked around, and all of a sudden I saw a studio. In the studio, I saw him standing there. And he had all these canvases, all the flat files, every art supply that you can imagine. But there was nothing on his canvases. All the anger in me went away. I just started laughing. I started thinking, he has like writer's block too, with blank canvas. I think, who else does it? I went, wait a minute, God does. This is God up in heaven And he doesn't know what to do anymore. Like he did some stuff, and everything he did like came up like the wrong way. So now he can like do anything he wants. He get all the materials, can do anything he wants, but he has no idea what he's going to do. So he pauses and says, wait a minute, I'm going to like take a break and decide like, get some ideas. So he decides that what he's going to do is go to Earth. So God comes to Earth, decides, well, he's at Earth, he might as well pick us some dope because like, he's on Earth. And unfortunately, what always happens, like his dope dealer ain't home, and this is a reflection of him in his truck, and he's going like, what the fuck? The guy sells dope. He don't have a job, he should be home. And he's thinking to himself, like, what happened in my life? Now, at one point, like, I was really happy I was like making stuff, but now, I don't know. So then he's thinking like, all right, what happened? So these are the themes of like, what he thought about in the themes of the book. Conflict of allegiances. Like, what do you owe your time to? Conflict of destiny. Like, what are you supposed to be? Conflict of identity. Who are you? Because, like, if you don't do your artwork and you're not making what you're supposed to do, as an artist, you know what it is. Like, when you're doing your artwork, you feel good. When you get those periods where you're not making anything, you don't know who you are. No, am I just about like trying to make money? Did I make a mistake? Was this a mistake, me being art? Am I ever going to have ideas again? Conflicts of love and friendship. The person you're living with. Do they understand like the bad mood you're in just because you don't have a good idea? Something you want to work with? You don't have anything that you're going to like get out of bed, spring out of bed and work on. Then the quest of the good light and the art of making, I can't read good. Generalizing, transposing, and making it sublime. So you always want to make something that's really good. So anyways, again, he's waiting in his truck. Time is running out. So he has to get back. So what he has to get back for is like, he's in charge of this place called heaven. And in heaven, there's like this one room and like all the rock stars hang out in. And I get to do things that they didn't get to do in life. John Lennon gets to play lead guitar. He gets to use a wah-wah pedal. John always got to do that stuff. Jim still wants to sing. Jerry just wants to play rhythm. Freddie Mercury still wants to sing. The people that didn't die right though, like Biggie Smalls, because he like was promoting violence, he's a bouncer, but there's really no one to bounce in heaven. Kurt Cobain, because he killed himself, he gets to tune guitars, and guitars never go out of tune. The guy from Sublime is in charge of all the equipment. The equipment never fritzes up. But meanwhile, everyone gets to play and gets to jam, and Liberace doesn't want to do anything but flit around. So that's what he's doing. And God's got his guy on everything. But then we come back to Earth. And like, sometimes like with being an artist, like doing what you want to do, life doesn't always end up what you want to do. So sometimes it's like, you don't know how you're going to support yourself. So it's like, all I need is like a pint a day. Because like, sometimes you can drink and forget about shit. Sometimes you can get enough like empty bottles that you can afford to get another drink. Sometimes you're going to end up like living in a box by the side of the highway. Sometimes you wonder like, is God in? Like you pray like, dear God, please let me get a parking space. Dear God, please let me get this grant. Dear God, please let this happen. It's not like that God doesn't hear you, but he might not be in it at the time. Because we all want to be like really talented painters, artists. We always want to get someone like beautiful, like to admire what we do. But we don't want to be like shallow and self-centered. We want to capture the popular imagination. And there's this conflict between industry and idolists. Because it's like real easy, like say if we do have money, like sit around, like drink all the time, we get high all the time. And then also when you do like stuff like this, that I have to be concerned with, is like no suggestion of ridicule because of that political correctness thing. And when you're an egotist, some of the things you say the harm is like unintentional because you don't realize it because like you're just thinking about yourself. So anyways, God was thinking about like how he ended up. Oh, the reason he ended up like he did, because like he worshipped the guys in Led Zeppelin, and he wanted to be like stoned all the time, like smoke really good dense like bud, and like, you know, it's like the Aerosmith thing is life ain't easy doing what you want to. Sometimes it's hard to find peace of mind, because you have to have a purpose, not just like getting high all the time, I guess. So the only time he ever got to relax is like those 3 days when he was in purgatory. So like he got to like to hang out with chicks and like play pinball, and like unfortunately every time he got like close, like devil would kick the machine and like he'd get jinxed out. Tilted, yeah. But he like got to relax because when he was here on earth, like his mother and his cousin John, like people forget that John the Baptist was his cousin. So they had this whole family thing going, like he had to like be perfect all the time. He couldn't get laid. It was like really hard. But like those 3 days when he was off the clock, because then he had to like become part of his father's company. If you ever work for family, it like really sucks. So anyways, he's like enjoying himself, and that's why like in time is different for him. Like actually he might still be here now like playing. That's why he doesn't like listen to our prayers. And that's why we can't like blame like the evil Puff Daddy for stealing like that Led Zeppelin song Kashmir and ruining it. Because Jimmy Page likes to smoke pot too, like some people do. Right now though, like God's like really into the DJ culture, and he got like all these like samplers and stuff. And what he does to like all his time now, like he gets to press these buttons, and like he gets like John Coltrane and Jimi Hendrix and Yusuf Ali Khan and Howlin' Wolf, and like he mixes all his sounds together. And he doesn't waste his time going to earth anymore because like Todd's undependable. So now he grows his own pot up in heaven. But the thing is, like, even though he's busy doing this and he ain't listening, sometimes he's still watching us. He's listening to what he says. So like, God, don't hold it against me. And he loves Led Zeppelin. That's why he always keeps like a picture of Led Zeppelin 1 for like inspiration. And he doesn't care about the audience or all the other people in heaven like listen to him. He's just like rocking out. And then sometimes what happens is like this guy here, unfortunately for him, like God was in the office, so he's like praying to do good at like horseshoes. He's like, dear God, like if I make this shot, I'll go like to church on Sunday. I'll make sure like I'll buy food for my dog and won't spend it on beer. And God at that point like listened to him. He got the shot, but he didn't like pull through. Then he had to go to hell. Because like God has like a covenant, you gotta like live up to your word. And so here he is back on earth, he's like walking around, like really sucks for him because everybody knows who he is. Like some people are like, you know, I just want to touch your hem and I want to do this, and can you do this and do this? And he's like, man, I want a couple of minutes alone, like just like experience shit. So like he cuts off his hair and shaves his beard and decides like, I want to be like cool. I want to like do some stuff like that, it's fun. So he decided like, what's like the funnest thing I can do? Like I want to skateboard. So like he buys a skateboard and he buys a little book because he's too proud to like get learned, you know, and he reads about it and like figures out how to do it and all the good things I've been learning. Unfortunately though, like when he's on earth, he's like takes the human form and like he's at a certain age, he might be like over 40. He don't have no insurance and he realizes that he'll get hurt doing a skateboard and stuff and like, man, that would be really cool. I'd love to skateboard, but I don't think I can't do it because it ain't gonna worth it like if I get hurt, because then I'll like be hurt and I don't have no insurance and that really sucks. So he's like thinking about other things. And like this thing here is called art. And like the people here, like we all want to be artists. And art's like the Holy Grail. Like to be an artist, you have to have the will. The will's like desire. Desire is like love. Sometimes love is fleeting. A lot of people want to be artists, but like they don't have an idea like what it really is to be an artist, and they don't really have the imagination. And when you finally become an artist, it's like, what form are you going to take? You're going to be a filmmaker? You're going to be a performance artist? You're going to be a painter? You're going to be a sculptor? And if you decide whatever form you're going to, what content it's going to do. And these are some of like the heroes that I have. This is Thelonious Monk, this is William Shakespeare, and this is Django Reinhardt. They all took a form that was already established, and they transformed what was already given. What happens as you're an artist, it's the fusion of your imagination and your technical proficiency. Like how you paint, or how you draw, or how you sculpt, or how you put it together. And to do that, it takes industry, it's work. And work is time occupation. Like, what else are you going to do? You might as well do what you want to do. Which brings us here to King George. He was at one time King of England. The sun at that time, before World War II, never set on the English Empire. Unfortunately for him, he had to be in a straitjacket. He really wanted to be a saxophone player. He really wanted to be like Coleman Hawkins. But everybody's saying put that thing down. You got to be like a saxophone player. You can't be a saxophone player. Sorry. You have to do this, this, and this. The only person that accepted what he wanted to do was this is the divorced woman. And she said you can do whatever you want. So he gave up being king so he could play saxophone. He wasn't really that good. That's why we don't really have any recordings of him. But hey, why not? This is the time for everybody to take a cigarette break, but we don't have time for that, so. So sometimes he takes a break and he goes on vacation, God looks around for more inspiration. And this time he finds these little mushroom things and he takes them, makes them think even better. And he just thinks about stuff. And it's good to think sometimes because thinking is good. Sometimes it can be bad because you can talk yourself out of things. And then he was thinking about how the guy Buddha started, because he was a friend of his, and he started because his father wanted to be like this, and he didn't want to be like this. And one day, the only ways he got out of it, he ended up standing straight all night, and next day his father came in and said, "Wow, you're still in the same place." Well, you can do what you want to do, so he got to do what he wanted to do. And right now, sometimes God's tired of being God. Everybody's praying him, asking him this and asking him that and asking him this and asking him this. And no matter what he does, people going to war, going to war in Afghanistan, the refugees are coming out. It's a lot of pressure, a wicked lot of pressure. People call him all the time. God damn those cell phones and those things in your pocket. And people calling you all the time and you never have any chance of yourself. And he decided you know what? I'm just gonna make believe I can't take it, and he faints. So he faints and everybody's what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Who's in charge? I don't know. And here's me and I hope that I'm not responsible for anything because that would really suck. Anyways, thank you. This is this. There's sherry over there, and sherry's has more alcohol in it.
Very strong.
It's strong. That's good, though. Thank you. Might not be as. Sometimes it's different than this time when I tell the story.
It's great. That's great. Yeah.
Thank you. I have 35 of these books, and I tell the stories are always different. I have one that's in here, but we're gonna go get a beer at the Deluxe because they're gonna make us. Not throw out of here. Is that a word?
Throw us out of here.
Throw us out of here. Yeah. This is stronger. All right. Give me a call or I'll give you a call because
yes, definitely.
I'll model for you, but $25 an hour.
Okay.
That's firm.
Okay, I got that part. That's cool.
Okay.
That's great. Good.
All right. Matt, I'll see you at school. Do you want to come out and grab a beer? I can't buy you one, but if you can buy one for yourself. It's a place around the corner, Deluxe. It's actually reasonable. All right.
Salvation of Boston.
Yeah. It's just right up the street around the corner.
Anne was going to take me there one night.
All right, cool. It's always different when I tell it, depending like who's in the audience or like how drunk I am or how stoned I am, and like.
Suggestion.
What?
Some of these in here. This one here. Seriously, there's one in here. The one with the pinball machine.
I make big prints out of those.
Yep.
I have the
pinball
technology.
Machine, you should have a real good close-up of that because it's really strong.
Yeah.
That's the one that
You
postcard.
should- No, zoom in on some of these because that to me, no, really, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And the other one I think that was really good when he explained the artists and that whole triangle thing. That was like a really Da Vinci looking piece. Yeah. It was very strong.
Well, like I said, like this
It was.
book, like I was
Very
saying, like you
strong.
get you
That
go.
one
Scott, he's a graduate from museum school. Like you graduate from school, and like how are you going to continue doing what you're doing? And you go through different, and like this is serious. Like a guy like that I knew, a gallery closed, and he grabbed like a portfolio, like 50 of my pieces,
Wow.
and then it like
I didn't get a chance to.
for 4 years, like I'd see him at openings and stuff, and he
Yes.
never told me that he had my portfolio. Then one day, like I come
Hold
back.
this and zoom. Can you zoom way in? No, seriously. You should hold this. This is really an important.
Well, also like this one, see where it says penis right here? I have a
But you know
gallery.
what I like about this? I like there's a paradox here that's going on. There's a thinking thought. And
Well, it's like-
it's spelled out for people.
Well, the thinking thought is like when we did the artist talk here for this show like 2 weeks ago, and I took part of it a week ago. Roland Smart had his thing on the wall, and I don't, you know, have any like implication of being smart. But when I did this, I was thinking like, what happened in my life? How come I'm broke? How come I can't even buy myself a cup of coffee? Because I've always wanted to be an artist. Ever since I was a little kid, this is what I always wanted to be. You know, and at one point in my life, people accepted me as being an artist. And I really thought like that was the be-all and end-all. But it didn't mean anything if I couldn't like buy myself a drink, buy myself a cup of coffee, you know, have somebody that, you know, that I wanted to take out because I can't even afford to like, you know, feed my dog, you know? And what happened? And it's like, again, people fall in and out of love. And I've never fallen out of love of like making stuff. And being back in school like I am now, like working at the print shop, you see all people, like I've been there for 3 years now. It's really weird because like people leave after like one semester. And it's weird, it makes you hard because you don't want to be close to anybody, in one sense, because nobody stays around. And somebody you think is gonna be there. It's like you said you were thinking about me like a month ago. I was thinking about you because I was going, wow, I wonder what Howard's doing.
Is that weird?
You know, because you were somebody that like was, you know, doing it and really out on a limb. Like at your opening, I remember it was at Cyclorama right here. It was the last show at Cyclorama. It was the show the Starn Twins were in. I knew you better than like, I knew you as one of the artists better than I knew any of the other people. I remember going and thinking, looking at Starn Twin shit, going, this is crap. And I remember that they went to Sandy Stark's show to Paris, and being a realistic person, going like, they came back, they had fucking 2 months. What are they gonna do? We're gonna like blow these pictures up and fill up this amount of space. And that's the reality of it, because part of it doing this is like, I'm not being like phony. This is like this is life.
That's a working thought. That's what I like.
You know, and this is life, and it's like, you know, it's a fusion of your imagination and technical proficiency, because like a lot of people want to be artists, you know, but they don't have the imagination, they don't have the ideas, and they don't have the will, and that's why the will's over here, because it's desire and it's like love. And it's like, you know, it's a love and hate thing, you know, you love what you do and then you hate what you do. It's like at a certain point you're like over 30 and you go like, what the fuck happened to my life? This is what I always wanted to be, and okay, I am this now. You know, people accept me as an artist, but I can't afford a fucking cup of coffee. You know, unfortunately, we don't live in a place where like we can paint churches. $1.25? It's a stimulant?
No, what's coffee?
Yeah.
To be an artist, it's a gift.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a gift.
Well, that's why, like in this,
It's something. No, in a gift meaning
Yeah.
a sense. It's like it's another sense
yeah,
that people. You have to realize the reason why people don't think about the acceptance part. You have to think about you being an artist is you are somebody who's different because you have something that people don't have. You have a different sense that you can create things people can't create. That's why they look at your art and go, I wish I could even get to that point. They can't. It's just not in them. You're born with that. You're born with it. And it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there forever.
yeah.
And you can't hide from it. And no matter what
I've tried.
it's going to be with you.
Like I tried actually. Like
And
before
it's so
this,
good that it
before
comes
this,
out
before
all the
this
time.
book,
You want it to come out.
before this book, I hadn't done anything for like 2 years, and I was just working. An ex-girlfriend of mine.
Dampens art, I think. The real world dampens
Yeah,
art.
an ex-girlfriend of mine had a show in New York City, and like I said, I went down to see the show. And I drove all the way down, and on the way down, like, I had a different, like, mindset. I went to the show, and her work was fucking excellent. Unbelievable. It blew me away. I couldn't believe how beautiful her work was. I couldn't believe, like, not only my response, but everybody else's response. It was one of those things where, like, wow. I always knew that they were capable about this, but I always imagined that they'd bloom to like this possibility. And to see that was just so overwhelming to me that I just couldn't hang out anymore because it was so crowded with other people that I had no chance I had no chance to talk to her. It's like a wedding. Everybody was like crowded around her. All I could do was like wave to her and like look at her work and go, oh my God,
And
she's
why
doing
were they
it.
crowded around her? They can't do what she does.
I guess that's the thing, but I remember like,
And that's why you should say to yourself, no matter what form of art you do, it's because you have something different that people can't do. And it took me 48 years to figure this out and to accept myself as who I am.
Yeah.
And now I realize it's just, you're creative. It's part of something that makes it happens, and it's gonna happen, and you can't hide from it. And every time you try to think, it's just part of you. It's part of what's gonna come out of you.
yeah.
People after a while understand it. That's part of what makes you.
I think, well, the thing is, I think
makes
other
you
people
do
have
this.
understood it more than I have. I've run away from it. Because I know, like, myself, it mostly has to do...
Run away from this is like so in depth. I mean, I see like you know what's great about artists? They can take and scrub their insides out and put it onto paper.
Yeah.
People can't do that. Other people would thrive to want to be able to show their inner self. They can't. They don't know how to make that happen. This is why when you and I went to the museum school, the first thing they said, the hell with the technical stuff. Get it out.
Yeah.
I want to see what you got in there.
Yeah.
Gut it out. Get that gut reaction out. And that's what I learned there. After that, I was like, okay, learned. They kept like, okay, yeah, this is good, but it's not good. You haven't got it all out there yet. And that's what they beat you on. They beat you to get it out. Get it out of your system.
Yeah, and the reality is, like, whatever's
And that's
been
what's so great about this.
the
It's
most, like, real has been the stuff that's always been the most best.
Yep, it's the stuff that comes right from down inside.
And it's like, anything that you got to shut off, and you got to, like, not worry about, like, politically correctness or anything else. It's like, to just do it.
Don't even.
Just do it. On that point, this semester, again, I'm in a print shop. I'm doing a version of the Kama Sutra. And so far I got like 20 people are going to do an image. If you have an image that you want to give me for the Kama Sutra, your first time, fantasy, you know, fantasy lover, your like crazy position that you want to do, your favorite position, what you do to get off, what image you use to get off, whatever it is. I have the technical ability to take that and make it into a print. I'm going to make a book that's going to be copper with the Kama Sutra here. Inside flap, it's going to have like all the artists' names. So far, we got enough to do 2 volumes. The back is going to have like all the names, like the you know, whatever the title of whatever piece of work is, whatever you say. Image size 6x9. So the thing is, if you can give me like a drawing or a photograph or something or a slide, I can convert that. You know, like I made a Neil Young T-shirt. I can convert that and make into an etching. And we have like, and I have the technical, you know, proficiency, ability to do that. And I think you know, it's the same on the same idea where like I learned how to do all this stuff working, having the job that I have. And it's like, okay, to be alive is to be everything. To be alive is to be sexual. And like, what makes people tick? What is the thing that they really like? Who are they like fantasizing about, or what do they want to do, or who they want to do it with, or whatever it is? I don't know. And I figured like, I gotta get monetary. Like I gotta make some money, and maybe this is something that will go someplace. You know, so like so right now I got like 32 people that are gonna be artists that are gonna put into it. Domingo, Bill Flynn, Peter Scott, Kai Ober, a couple other faculty members, like all my friends that I know at school. And they're all going to give me like 1 image. Some people are going to give me like 2 or 3 images. So that way you'll have, you know, you'll have one that has everybody's image in, but then you'll have like 3 books. If you give me 3 images, you'll get like 3 books, 3 portfolios with all the shit in it. You know, so that you'll have like 3 like to sell or to do anything else you want to do with. And you know, it's a way to like collect other people's work in a way like
Everybody's thoughts,
yeah. You know, and I want to open like the people that are like